Recently, I found myself saying, I don't have enough time to read. So this week, I decided to make time out of thin air and wake up at 5 a.m. every day. Yes, you heard me right. Waking up at 5 a.m. every day this week to read. Was this a great idea? I don't know. I'm not filled with the greatest ideas all the time, but let's get into reading. Welcome to day 1 of this challenge. It is 5:20. I was up at 5, but I was laying in bed contemplating my choices and my idea of making this video because at 5 a.m. I've never been up at 5 a.m. in such a long time. My sleep schedule's whack. I usually wake up 5 or 6 hours from now. I know. It's so bad. And I had maybe 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, this feels like a fever dream. And at 5 a.m., filming right when I wake up is a very vulnerable time for me because first I look like this. My face is puffy, my lips are puffy, my eyes are puffy, everything's puffy. It just feels like a vulnerable time for me. And I feel like my mind's still asleep. My body's just awake. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, the book that I ended up picking, I haven't read a book by this author, and I've heard this book going around for a little bit, and that is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. I also have glasses, and I don't have them on because I look terrible then. So, don't mind if I'm squinting because I'm trying to see. Oh my god, I look bad. This is the reason why I picked up this book. It was the very first line or the very first paragraph. I'm gonna read it to you. It says, "A podcaster has ruined my life, so I'm buying a chicken. I make plans for this chicken as I sit in my cubicle at Walter J. Brown Investment Services waiting to be fired. I stopped pretending to work 2 hours ago. Now I'm just staring at recipes on my phone, dreaming about sticking lemons up a chicken's butt. It's an apology chicken from my boyfriend. It's like that engagement chicken the one woman make to persuade their boyfriends to propose. Except this is a sorry I didn't tell you. I'm the prime suspect in my friend's murder chicken. Apology chicken for short." Oh my god, I think that's hilarious. It's a starter book. That was too hot. I just burnt my tongue. Hello guys, it is now 7:05. I've been reading for an hour and a half-ish. I know I didn't start right at 5 because, I don't know, I was just sitting around contemplating my choices. But I got to page 80, chapter 13 of the book. And I don't think I actually told you what this book is about. I saw this book going around TikTok and BookTube the last few months of 2024, and I picked it up in December, I think. And to sum it all up, this book is about two best friends, mainly following Lucy and her best friend Savvy. They go to a wedding, and that night Savvy gets murdered at a park, I think, because a jogger finds her the very next day, very, very early in the morning. And Savvy is found wandering near the edge of town, just walking around barefoot, covered in mud, and still in her wedding attire with Savvy's blood on it, just not clearly there. And at first no one thought she did it, but then as time passed, everyone thought in her town that she did it. So she ends up moving away. She moves to California. About 5 years later, this guy named Ben, a podcaster, ends up doing a segment about Savvy's murder, and obviously she is talked about, and not a lot of people had good things to say about her, to say the least. She ends up getting fired from her job because of this podcast. Obviously this was really bad on her mental health, and there's a voice in her head saying, kill these people, kill these people. She was grocery shopping and she saw a squash, and there was a lady there staring at her, or just standing there, and she's hit her across the head with a squash. It's just, I'm this is not looking good for you, girl. But I guess if you've been accused of murder for so many years by the people from your hometown, and now this podcaster, you can't help but think that, because she can't remember anything of that night. That's what she says. She can't remember anything at all. She ends up going home because her grandma like begs her to come for her birthday, but she finds out that her grandma just invited her because Ben, the podcaster, is there, and the grandma thinks that Ben could be the person to help her prove her innocence. And so far I'm liking it. It's fast paced. I can't believe I'm already 80 pages into a book and it's only 7 a.m. I made the mistake of staying in bed yesterday, and by the time I called it a morning at around 8 or 9, I fell back asleep for another 3 hours. Oh my god, did I just pee myself? I'm just going crazy. Anyways, that was because I got the 4 hours of sleep. I couldn't go to sleep till 1 yesterday. And did that happen again? Yes. Did I have to take an unhealthy amount of melatonin to go to sleep last night? Yes. I couldn't go to sleep until 1 again, and I woke up at around 5:15. And it's now 5:46. I don't know, I just stared at the wall for 30 minutes straight. But we're up now, and we're downstairs. I'm gonna read on the couch so I don't fall asleep. Get a face roller. It's so nice. That was nice. I'm 282 pages into this book and I still don't know who did it. I have one main person that I think who did it, but I'm not sure still because I feel like everyone's gaslighting her in this book, making her think that she did it. So she's like making false memories in her head, which can happen after a traumatic brain injury, like plus the trauma. I feel like those combined together just does not make your brain reliable, and when you have all these people telling you this is what happened, you just make false memories around it. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh my god, what just happened? Hello guys, it's later in the day. I failed myself today because I said I would not go back to bed. I followed through with the first step of my plan that I had, which was go downstairs and not read in bed, but around like 8 or 9, I was like, I'm so cold, I'm just gonna go back into my bed, and then I laid down and I woke up 4 hours later. Anyways, I did finish this book this morning before I took that nap, and I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about the ending. The plot twist was very subtle. I thought the author would pull something at the very end that would just leave us all shocked. I did not feel that with this. It was very underwhelming for me. I think I expected a lot more just because the storyline was so good. It kept me entertained. I love the idea of incorporating a podcast into a thriller. Like, I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. They had a podcast there and it was absolutely perfection. The other mystery thriller that I read that had a podcast incorporated in it was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I didn't really like that as much, and I feel like my review and thoughts for this book is a combination of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and None of This Is True. So like, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, I just liked it. And I didn't really connect to the female main character. Like, I did relate to her in some way, like her using like joking and sarcasm as a coping mechanism. I'm like that and I need to work on it because I laugh at the most like serious and uncomfortable moments. Like, I need to work on that. So I'm giving it a 3.25 stars. The grandma is my favorite character in this book. I love Beverly. She is such an icon. I love her. I mean, she lives in a pink house, wears dresses. Like, the only thing I wish for her is that she find what she's been looking for in men that she hasn't found before. She has like quite a few lovers in this book, and I'm like, yeah, get it, Beverly. guys, welcome to day 3. I feel actually pretty good today. I woke up at 5, I picked up my book and started reading. I didn't say anything because it was one of those mornings where I just didn't want to talk and everyone is still sleeping. I mean, everyone's still sleeping now. It is now 6:22 and I've been reading for around an hour and a bit. I didn't start reading right at 5. I think it took me like 10 or 15 minutes to just wake myself up fully. But I picked up this book, Daisy Haites. I did DNF this sometime last year and I got maybe 100 pages into it. I spent yesterday just trying to catch up and trying to like refresh my mind on it. I wasn't necessarily like reading it word per word. I was like skimming through it because I remember most of the things that's happening. I started reading really after the 100-page mark last night and I got to 170 and now I'm page 236. So I read around 66 pages, which is pretty good. And if you don't already know, this is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe or series. And this book follows Daisy and Christian, who we've seen in the first book. I gotta say though, I'm liking their story a little bit better than Magnolia and BJ so far. I'm gonna stop talking and keep reading. Hello guys, it's a couple hours later. I've been reading in my room and I got this far into the book. The sun is trying to rise and that's my sign to get my day started. The first thing I do to get my day started is take my Magic Mind shot. If you don't know what Magic Mind is, it's basically a productivity shot that boosts energy and focus throughout the day and elevating mental clarity. I don't drink any caffeine and these have minimal caffeine in them because I don't know why I'm so sensitive to caffeine. And as you notice, the first 2 days of this challenge I was having a hard time getting up, but this Monday it was getting better. I've been getting better sleep, I've been getting more things done throughout the day, and I don't feel like I'm behind. So let's take a shot on that. Cheers. I will see you for day 4 of this challenge. You know what I feel? I feel like this video is so boring. It's day 4 now. I'm laying on the ground. Actually, I've been laying on the ground since 4:30. Either this challenge is getting easier or I'm just delusional. I don't know, the floor is kind of nice. Oh my god. I put my hair in these without like curling them and blowing it out. First, like I usually use these after I blow out my hair to keep my blowout for a few days, and I did it without doing anything to my hair, just after showering, and it kind of looks horrible. This is not it. My layers are not layering right now. I look like a lion. Roar. Anyways, it's 5 and I don't know how I have this much energy at 5 in the morning and I kind of just want to stay in bed. It's kind of cold. Got this far into the book. I am on chapter 51, page 33. What? Let's try that again. Clearly I'm not all here. I am on chapter 51, page 333. This book, I think I'm liking, like I said, I'm liking their relationship more than Magnolia Parks and BJ. As you know, Julian is like an art dealer. That seems like a cute word, but no, it's not. Like, it's a dangerous job. He steals like, you know, the most expensive art in the world and he's the only one who can deal with. And I love the whole like planning of a heist. Like, he has a big job to do. He has to really plan it because a lot of people are on him, like guarding these pieces. Daisy's also involved and it's very high stakes. Compared to Magnolia, I don't remember what she was dealing with, but this is very like higher stakes than that because people's lives are actually on the line. I don't know, I'm loving it. Daisy grew up around men. Her brother basically raised her. She grew up around these things, guns, fighting, and she's just so badass. Did I tell you she's also going to school to be a doctor? Like, what? Anyways, I love her, and I also feel bad for all the things she's gone through. Actually, her and Christian, because of their families. Lots of drama. This is too toxic for me this early in the morning. All this miscommunication and just jumping to conclusions. Oh my god. It's 5:15 in the morning right now, and it is day 6. Yesterday, day 5, I was very ill. I think the night of day 4, I had a flare-up of my allergies, and I just could not sleep, so I couldn't get up at 5. And I was in bed most of the day, recovering from that night, so we're not gonna talk about it. I do apologize for it, but we're gonna keep this video going. Oh, I forgot to wear my night guard last night. That's why my cheeks hurt. And quick review, maybe the last third of the book, you have to be in a certain mood to read this. And I wasn't really in the mood for it when I finished it. I was kind of getting tired of the cat and mouse game of them chasing each other around. They definitely had feelings for each other. They were just ignoring it or in denial or just didn't want to deal with it. And they dealt with it in the most toxic way. Well, Daisy did, but it all roots back to their trauma in their childhood, I feel like, and the trauma they faced after their childhood. But it did get interesting in the end. Like, it escalated pretty quickly. It ended in a cliffhanger where I want to pick up the next book. And it had this at the end, and we all know who this is. Magnolia. It kind of gives you a little bit of like an insight of what happens to her after the first book, and the third book is about her, so I'm kind of interested in her story now again. And tell me why. Leonardo DiCaprio made an appearance, so I have that in my TBR now. Magnolia Parks and The Long Way Home. She's in New York. But I do rate this book a solid 3.75 stars. I did love Julian, and I did love their sibling relationship as well, and her growing up around guys and being such a badass. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 4. Sorry, I'm so indecisive. And last night I was thinking of starting a book, but then I just went to sleep, and I'm in between these 2 series, and I heard these 2 series are really good, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna go for this one. A girl who has nothing suddenly inherits billions of dollars from this random dude, and she has to move into the mansion, and the dude's family is there and hates her because they inherited nothing. I want to continue reading about rich people. This is like everyone's dream. Hello guys, it is 8 in the morning. I didn't do any updates in between just because I got so lost in this book. I am this much in page 114, chapter 28. I can't believe I'm 100 pages into a book that I started this morning at 8 in the morning because I'd be sleeping right now. That's how good this book has hooked me. Anyways, if you don't already know what this is about, I feel like everyone's read this book or have heard about this book. This book is about a girl named Avery Adams. She is essentially parentless and is raised by her half-sister named Libby. She and Libby are basically not living the very best life. She's in high school. She works jobs just to make ends meet. At times, she lives in her car. But she's like the smartest girl ever. And one day she gets pulled into the principal's office and is met by this guy named Grayson Hawthorne, and essentially tells her that she is a part of his grandfather's will named Tobias Hawthorne, and she needs to be there for the will reading. And the thing about Tobias Hawthorne is that he is like one of the richest people in the world. And she ends up going there and she finds out that she basically inherited his whole $46.2 billion worth of will and essentially all his properties that are not set aside for family or important people in his life. And everyone, the Hawthorne family, is upset because who is she? She's just a random girl. She's confused too because she doesn't know this man. She hasn't met this man, but I have a feeling she actually has met this man before. There's these 4 brothers, the 4 Hawthorne grandsons named Grayson, Jameson, Xander, and Nash. Grayson thinks she's a con artist and Jameson thinks she's a riddle. She inherited the Hawthorne house, which is like the main house in the family, and this house is filled with secret passages, riddles, puzzles, and Jameson, the brother, thinks that she's the last puzzle or the last hurrah of the grandfather, because the grandfather was obsessed with like puzzles and riddles and all that. And now they're trying to figure out why she's there. Anyways, I think I'm gonna keep reading, but I did want to start my day, and I start my day every day with the Magic Mind shot. You might have seen this in my channel before, and I don't know why I've had so much energy in the morning in the past few mornings that I've done this challenge, and it might be due to this. Cheers! Good morning, guys. Sorry about my hair. It's kind of messy. And yes, I'm wearing the same sweater. I only wore it a little bit yesterday, so it's still clean. Anyways, it's the last day. Let me fix the camera. I am so excited to be able to sleep in tomorrow. You have no idea. The fact that it's a Friday. Yesterday, I finished this book. Like, after I got off camera, I just finished it, because I couldn't put it down. I was like, I need to know what happens. I need to know why she got the inheritance. But I didn't find out. Like, I thought I would find out the first book, and the next 2 books will just be like other side mysteries that also matter, but I didn't find it. Like, I didn't find out, which I was so mad. I was like, okay, that's all I got at the end. But I did guess the kind of twist at the end. I was like, this character has to be someone relevant, you know? And it turns out that character was. And the romance, like a love triangle. There's like tension between her and one character. Like, it's so obvious, and the other character, it's there, but they don't want it to be, but it's still there, and I'm kind of loving it. I don't know who I'm rooting for, honestly. I kind of like both of them. I don't know who yet. I need to learn more about their story and see them together more. I think I'm gonna rate this. I'm so conflicted. I think I'm gonna rate this, like, I'm between a 3.5 and a 4. I think I'm gonna go with the 4. Like, it kept my attention that much. Like, I had to read it in one sitting. So I had to start the second book last night. I started it. I'm only this much in, page 37, chapter 8, so I didn't get too far in. I'm hoping I get more out of this book, but I feel like the final book is gonna tell why she got the inheritance, and it sucks. Like, it takes 3 books to tell me why, and this just continues on from this. Like, there was like no time jump, or there's like a couple days. You know what keeps me interested in this book? Like, there'd be times where I'm like, okay, this is just dragging on, and then we find something super important and relevant, and I'm like, oh my god, really? And then, oh, that's my bagel, the other half of my bagel. There's always this one that kept coming back in the first book that I don't think I'm gonna find out until the last book as well. Her mother, before she passed away, would tell her, I have a secret about the day you were born, and I just found something out. And I'm like running predictions in my head, and that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Anyways, I'm liking the Hawthorne house, how there's like so many secret passages and everything. Most of the furniture in there has like a secret compartment, and like the floors and everything, and the grandsons grew up around that, and they know exactly what they're looking for. That's just so interesting and smart. Like, I feel like if I was in that house, I would not find anything. I would not solve anything. I'd probably accidentally run into a trap or something and get myself killed. Hello guys, it's a couple days later and I'm here to give you my review on the Hawthorne Legacy. And I think I liked this book a lot more than our first one, the Inheritance Games, just because there's like, we know the characters already. There's not a lot of like world building. I'm not saying, well, there's not a lot of world building here, but like you don't get introduced to the main characters and like their history and like the history of the house and stuff like that. Like everything is going on in this book, and the three brothers and Avery are set to go find someone, and there's just twist after twist in this book, and you find things out and then later on they're like, no, that's not true, actually it's something else. And I loved it. Also, the romance was so much more in this book. Are you team Grayson or team Jameson? I don't know, I'm kind of loving Grayson. I am loving Grayson. Like, Jameson is sweet and all that, like he's playful, flirty, but Grayson, something about a guy keeping to himself because he likes the girl, I kind of love that. Like, I love the romances where it's like, I've been in love with you for a long time but I can't, so I'm just gonna stay away, but then he can't stay away and like breaks at some point, and just, I love that. Anyways, it does tell you why he gave the inheritance to her, but you have to piece it together. So I don't know what the last book is gonna be about. I think I'm gonna pick it up soon because there's an itch in my brain that I need to itch and find out what's happening. And I believe it's just a trilogy, right? Because there's 2 other books in the series that are not really part of the series. I don't know, but I think I give this a solid 4.5 stars. There's just some scenes that were a little bit dragged on, but I get it. This challenge was fun, but I'm glad it's over. I can sleep in. Like, I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule, not wake up like super early at 5, but like maybe 6 or 7. But these are the 4 books that I read, and usually I haven't been able to read more than like 3 books a week, so this was really good experiment. Waking up in the morning feels like I have more control of my day and more hours of my day, because like me sleeping until 12 does not help that. And I'm sorry if you hear rubbing because my brother is doing something with his car. Will I do this challenge again? Probably not, but you should try it if you're been feeling like you haven't had any time. It's good if you also need to fix your sleep schedule like me, but I'm gonna leave it here. If you stay till the end, comment the sword emoji so I know who stayed till the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to use my link with Magic Mind to get your productivity shot and sleep shots with a discount. I hope I see you guys in the next video.